Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Debbie Martinez, and I am a business development manager for Mayflower Cruises and Tours. Glad to be with you this morning via this Zoom call to talk to you about our wonderful trip of Montana and Glacier National Park. A little bit about Mayflower Cruises and Tours. I'm going to give you some cell slides from the beginning, just a little history. Scenic, who is our parent company, Scenic Tours. As you can see, they were founded in 1986 by a gentleman named Glenn Maroney. Mayflower Cruises and Mayflower Tours has been in business since 1979. But through our timeline, we are family owned and operated. Mayflower Tours launched our first river cruise in 2008 called the Dutch Waterways Program. We were kind of trying to get our feet wet and feel if that we had travelers who liked our group land programs would also like river cruising. And that proved to be very successful. And in 2014, Glenn Maroney launched his Emerald Waterways program. And so we were running similar river cruise tours. And then in 2018, our family-owned business was sold to and acquired by the Scenic Tours Group. So we are owned by a gentleman and his wife, Glenn Maroney and his wife, and have been very successful program. My history with Mayflower dates back to 1993. I started as a call center agent in our home office in the Chicagoland area. And after 3 months, moved to the sales department and have been there ever since. So 31 years, it'll be in January. So a long time being there. And then we also have our Scenic Eclipse Tours, which was launched by Glenn and his wife. And now we're doing yacht cruising. So we have land programs, river cruises, world tours, small group experiences. We have a lot of different opportunities for travelers to participate in. Some of our products you'll see, we have a North America brochure, of course, focuses on North America. Our world holidays is our international tours by land. We have our river cruise and small ship adventures, and those are owned by ourselves. Mayflower Tours partners with Scenic to offer the Emerald products. And then we have the Emerald River Cruising and the Discovery Yacht Cruises. So I think we're touring or cruising on all continents at the current time. You'll see some of our other brochures with Vietnam there and the like. So what Mayflower believes in, sort of our experience, deluxe transportation. We do not own any motor coaches. We charter all of our vessels so that we have the up-to-date equipment, safety standards, and the like. Top accommodations. Mayflower specializes in group travel. We have been since the very start. That's how we started with church groups in the Chicagoland area, getting them to travel, and have since expanded to across the country. I live in Michigan, but I have accounts that are in Maryland, Virginia, here in Michigan, and some key accounts at Mayflower. All of our programs include the luggage handling for your one suitcase per person, and then you are welcome to bring along a carry-on. Everything that we do at Mayflower Tours is escorted. So we have a professional Mayflower tour manager who travels with you. If the group is 10 or more people arriving at the destination city, then you're actually met at the airport. But no worries, if you don't meet the 10 people, then we always include transfers at both the beginning and the end of the program. Makes it easy to join. You'll just be transferred and meet at the hotel where you'll meet up with that tour manager as well as the other tour participants. So our tours are formed by both groups and individuals. Groups get their space way in advance of our individuals, and our individuals sort of fill in to make sure that we get our departures out the door. One of the things we pride ourselves on is that tour manager. You have been on a tour before, maybe, make or break. They are the key to the success of a program. In addition, we use local step-on guides and historians when appropriate. A lot of times that's over in Europe, maybe the DC area, licensed badge guides that are there to assist you, make sure your vacation is everything you hoped it would be. We try to include some unique dining experiences in each of our programs, at least one, but we try to get out from the hotel restaurant. Sometimes it's inevitable if that's the only property in the area or that is group managed, but our hotels are all based on providing group accommodations. So that when you check in, you have your handling of your luggage, your key packets are ready, tour manager greets you, and we get our start to our program. Unique in the industry still at Mayflower is our guaranteed share program. So if you are a single traveler, but you would like to have a roommate, as long as you sign up as our guaranteed share, we will do our best to assist you in finding a same companion, non-smoking roommate. This way you're guaranteed to pay what we call twin pricing. That's two people sharing a room, and yet you don't have to pay that sometimes very significant single supplement. So if I have people on board that are listening in and you don't have a roommate, fear not, we can hook you up and make sure you enjoy your time with the whole group. Amazing destinations we offer from, I mentioned already, from North America to world, international, to the river cruising. But today's focus in this call is going to be about Montana and Glacier National Park. And this is a program we've been offering at Mayflower Tours for a number of years now. It's very popular amongst the groups, I think because not an easy destination to get to. Glacier National Park is the least visited of our national parks and came to be, I believe, in 1910. Glacier National Park came into existence. I'm not sure if you've seen the flyer for the program, but we do have the July 13th, 13th through the 20th, 2024. Here's a picture of the flyer. If you don't have one at the end, I'm gonna give my contact information so you'll be able to, I can email it to you if you'd like. We have just about a handful of seats remaining on the July 13 departure. So as you can see on my slide there, I've put or August 3rd through the 10th. This is a program that only runs in the summer months because of the areas that we're visiting. So space is quite limited. So if the July date were to fill up and your availability is still there for August, I can convert you to the August 3rd through the 10th departure without issue. So this is kind of our map of travel. We're going to fly into Spokane, Washington. It's a great place for us to get started. And we're going to end this program in Missoula, Montana. So our gateways are Spokane, Washington, and Missoula, Montana at the end. You'll notice the map has a number of circles on it with numbers in it. From the key, you'll see that's the overnights and where we're planning to stay. We have already done this program for years. Our director of tour development has stayed at these hotels, mapped out our route, and found us the highlights of the areas that we're going to. So where it's a blank circle, obviously from the key, it's a visit. You'll see our tour route in the dark line, and then the number of nights we stay in each of the places is in that circle. We do include, in our 8-day tour, there's 12 meals included. That's breakfast daily, 3 dinners, and 1 lunch. Not to say we're going to starve you, because we won't. We'll just make sure that the tour manager has dining suggestions where we stay. If a dinner isn't included, it's within walking distance of restaurants and choices for you. We don't want to keep everybody on the same exact meal if there's other options in the area. Some people might eat lighter, some people might want a different kind of dinner. Excuse me. So that's our route of travel. So this program begins in Spokane, Washington, and that's the second largest city in the state of Washington. Even though it's a city and it's a metropolitan area, it has that small charm of feel yet. at that ambiance. The downtown area is very attractive, and we're able to see different parts of the area while we're traveling. Some of the places in the downtown area, our arrival day, we come in with accommodations made for travel, so we arrive by 6 p.m. No need for you to take care of the flying arrangements. My company will assist you. In fact, the program includes air from Baltimore to Spokane and return Missoula, Montana, back to Baltimore. But if you have friends in other areas that wish to join the tour, please get in touch with me, contact me. I can certainly make arrangements from any US gateway. So the downtown area, though, is built along the waterfront, the riverfront here area. And that's something, if we arrive prior to 6 p.m. and you have time, our hotel is not located too far from this area, so certainly able to walk and explore in the afternoon. We'll see the riverfront park, as well as the Spokane waterfalls. And the riverfront park is really known for its restaurants, shops. It has a hand-carved wooden carousel. There's a skyride gondola that takes you over near Spokane Falls. And this park is located right in the heart of the city. So Spokane is known as, just a little tidbit for you, the birthplace of Father's Day. There's the falls area. And that night we're planning to stay at the Hampton Inn in Spokane, located right here in this area. Excuse me for a minute. Okay, so after our overnight there at the Hampton Inn, we're going to continue the next day to Wallace, Idaho, and that is known as the silver capital of the world. And it's an old mining town, obviously, and one of the few places that the entire town is listed on the historic registry, the National Registry of Historic Places. Has one of the best collections of turn-of-the-century artwork. Architecture, excuse me, in the Pacific Northwest. There are several museums in the area that offer a glimpse into the history. And we'll spend our morning there in Wallace before continuing on into Montana. Our overnight on day number 2 of the tour is going to be in Kalispell. But on our way, we're going to travel along the Flathead Lake in Montana. It's the largest natural freshwater lake west of the Mississippi. And we're going to come back to the lake later on in our touring at the end of the tour. It's more than 28 miles long, and it was formed by a great glacier more than 12,000 years ago. The picture. We're going to have that overnight, as I mentioned to you, here in the city of Kalispell. We're near water all the time on this trip, or quite often. July and August are real nice times to visit this area. It's not too hot and it's not too cool. You can expect daytime highs between 70 and 80 degrees, and then a little bit cooler in the night. So as far as packing, I always say raincoat, because you never know, and layered clothing, just because as it warms up throughout the day, you'll need to remove layers so that you're comfortable. Getting into Kalispell here, you'll see some of the town. We arrive in the afternoon. You'll have some time on own to discover this great city. Our next day is Glacier National Park, and a real highlight of the trip, obviously in the name, founded in 1910. It's a park of land and mountain ranges, again carved by the ice rivers that went through this area. The vistas seen from the going to this, I want to show you some more pictures, please. A lot of these photos are taken from the Going to the Sun Highway. And we're going to have our opportunity to ride on our motor coach. But one of the things I like about this itinerary is the modes of transportation. We're going to trade our motor coach in one day, and we're going to travel on the Going to the Sun Highway via the Park Jammers. And the Jammers is actually a bus. And we have a driver and reserved seating for our tour participants. And the best way to travel is these red buses on the park roads. And the antique red buses are a symbol of the park. The only place I know that has jammers. And it's a reminder of the time when adventures in these parks were done in style. This was unique to this area. And the jammers carries over because during the day, these had standard transmissions, and the drivers could be heard jamming the vehicle into gear as it makes its way through the park. So really cool area to travel via this vehicle, the jammer. And we're traveling that famous road called the Going to the Sun Highway. And we spend 2 nights in East Glacier at the Glacier Park Lodge. So that's nice to have in-park lodging so we can have the time to explore Glacier National Park via this Going to the Sun road. Our 2 nights then are at the Glacier Park Lodges, as I explained. You do need a passport for this trip, specifically for this next day, as we cross the border into our Canadian neighbors and make our way to Waterton Lakes National Park. It's actually called Waterton Glacier International Park. And we'll travel north. We're going to visit Waterton Lakes National Park. If you're an avid animal person, you will see different birds and different species from the different views we have. We talked about riding in the Going to the Sun Highway with the roof that is open, so you'll be able to see all around us. You're going to see when we go out on the boat cruises shortly, you're going to see the opportunity to view land from a different perspective. We do a boat cruise on Upper Waterton Lake. This is the first of our cruises. It has deep scenic bays, sheer vertical mountains, beautiful wilderness surroundings. And we take about a 2-hour cruise out here on the lake to explore. So again, another reason for having those layered clothing. Here in this photograph, you're going to see the Prince of Wales Hotel. It's one of the most photographed hotels in the world. I'm going to come back to another slide of it. Today, we're going to visit the Prince of Wales Hotel. We have an included lunch at the Lakeside Chop House. It has a beautiful outdoor patio and not a minute to miss the scenic views that we're all experiencing. That looks good for lunch. Here's the Prince of Wales Hotel, a little closer, up close view. Like a chalet, sort of reminds me, nestled in the mountains, kind of European. Then we're going to continue. We're staying that night again in East Glacier. We're going to continue the next day. We're going to depart for Great Falls, Montana. And this area is where we're going to follow the footsteps of Lewis and Clark through their expedition. We're going to walk in their footsteps, travel in their footsteps, see from their footsteps. We're going to make a visit to the Lewis and Clark Interpretive Center right here. So we're going to learn about their exploration and their hard times as they made their way west and traveled through the countryside of our country, the country of our great country. They spent about a month here around the falls in 1805 experiencing and trekking. And much of the Missouri River in this area is as it was when Lewis and Clark actually traveled this area over 200 years ago. Inside the Interpretive Center with some of its art exhibits and expeditions. And then we're going to again travel out onto the water. Oh, we stay one night in Great Falls here at the Hampton Inn. The next day, we're going to continue our journey following the footsteps of Lewis and Clark. We're going to go out to the gates of the mountains. And this historical boat trip along the Missouri River, you're going to see sheer cliffs again, cliffs towering over 1,200 feet on either side of you. And we have a wonderful opportunity to explore from the water through this area. There's our cruise boat. I'd say it's a couple hour cruise out on the water. And then so then we stay one night in Missoula at the, actually we stay 2 nights. This is the first night in Missoula, Montana. The next day we're going to travel to the Miracle of America Museum. We're going to go to Polson, that's in Montana, and that's where this museum is located. I have not been here, but the collection, it says the collection of Americana artifacts is in the thousands. It's housed in a number of buildings. We spend a good portion of our morning exploring the museum and its buildings, inside as well as outside. And then we have our narrated cruise on Flathead Lake in the afternoon. I told you I would bring you back to Flathead Lake, the largest natural freshwater lake west of the Great Lakes, west of the Mississippi. It's sure to please. So it is like our farewell afternoon of enjoying our time together. We have a farewell dinner the night of day number 7. We spend the night in Missoula. One more night. There's some pictures of Missoula. And then we do a group transfer on the final morning for flights home after 10 o'clock. But you don't have to worry about that unless you make your own arrangements. We just know that we're going to fly out after 10 a.m. So just to go over again some of the fine details of the program. Our 2024 departure date is July 13th through the 20th. Or if that fills up, then we're going to shift over and put some people to the August 3rd through the 10th. Those are our 2 opportunities remaining for 2024 touring. The price of the tour, again, on the flyer, it outlines all of this in detail, but the price is $42.99 per person twin. And that is 2 people sharing a room, each paying the $42.99. Also, that is the guaranteed share rate that I talked to you about at the beginning of the program. If you don't have a roommate, but you're interested in us finding you a roommate, we can do that. $42.99 is the price. Guaranteed share, we never come back and ask you for the single supplement. You would get the room then. If we aren't able to match you up as for accommodations, you would get the room at $42.99. If you wish a true single because you want to travel single, then the single rate is $55.88. Our pricing includes all the highlights I mentioned. So all the tour, your round trip airfare from Baltimore to Spokane and return from Missoula. And we also include our traveler's protection plan in the program. It's a no questions asked insurance program. It covers you in case of cancellation from the day you make your initial deposit up to and including while on tour. So it would cover flight delay or baggage assistance. It has a number of qualifying situations that it covers you for, but it's a no questions asked prior to departure cancellation policy. So if for some reason you aren't able to join us on the tour, As long as you cancel prior to 24 hours in advance, you receive a full refund less the cost of the traveler's protection plan. I highly recommend it, traveler's insurance, even here in the States. You just never know. We are offering a special early booking incentive. It's $100 off per person. And again, if you don't have a flyer or a reservation form, you can let me know that. I can email that to you. I would recommend, as soon as you're comfortable, that you would make your reservation, fill out the form, send it to me via email or call me, either way, and so that we can get you booked onto the tour. If you're a repeat traveler and you have rewards from last year, I don't know if any of you have traveled before with us, then you would save an additional $100 per person. If you are a first-time traveler, so you've never experienced a Mayflower cruise or tour, we offer you a $25 per person savings just for giving us a try. I guarantee I wouldn't be here for 31 years if it wasn't a great company that provides wonderful touring. And I know Lana's on, she can attest to some great touring. Judith is on, she's been with us before in past times. So there is some experience in the group as far as traveling with Mayflower. So to secure your reservation, there is a booking form, reservation form. Either you have one or I'll send it to you. What is required is that you fill out the form completely. Please make sure you use your name as listed in your passport. If you have a nickname, that's fine. Note it to me. I can make sure to pass along to my reservations team your nickname, but I have to have your reservations made in your legal name because we are crossing into Canada. At that time, once the form is complete, I can take a deposit. It's $450 per person. That includes the travel protection plan that is $250. So if you were to cancel from the time of deposit to the time of final payment, you would receive your deposit of $200 back. The $250 is insurance and it's non-refundable. And the only other payment we have due is our final payment, and that comes due at 60 days prior to departure. We do take credit cards. If you're wanting to pay it by credit card, we take Visa, MasterCard, and Discover. I do not keep credit card numbers. Once you give it to me, it's destroyed. So if you choose to make your final payment by the same card, you'll need to contact us. I will send you a confirmation and invoice once I receive your reservation form and your deposit. Your final payment is due at the 60-day mark. But I always get questions from travelers that they'd like to make some incremental payments. If that is the case and you want to pay a little bit every month, we will not bill you for that, but I am certainly able to work with you on a payment plan as such. And as I mentioned, we have that no questions asked travelers protection plan already included in the price that you see on the flyer at the $42.99 per person twin. So you don't have to add it, but it is part of the deposit. So I can't add it later on because it at this time covers anything, covers pre-existing. There's no questions asked. There's no medical anything. It's cancellation for any reason prior to departure. So I'd like to open it up. I'd like to hear your questions and entertain them and help you make the decision to join us on this wonderful trip to Montana and Glacier National Park in July or August of 2024. So questions?
I have one.
Yes.
Oh, are you looking at me? This is Lana.
Hi, Lana.
Did you say we would actually stay in a lodge in Glacier National Park?
In East Glacier. Is the Glacier Park lodges are located in East Glacier Park, and we are staying 2 nights.
Do we get to go to the visitor center for the park?
Oh, I'm sure if you wanted to, you could easily go to the visitor center. Yes.
So there is time. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions? No other questions?
What's the general deal?
Hi, I'm Shay. I have a question.
Shay.
So we don't live in Maryland anymore. We live in Atlanta. So how complicated is it to fly from Atlanta and back to Atlanta?
Well, we can
Not
get a
him, not
nonstop flight. We can fly nonstop from Atlanta to Spokane.
okay.
Just
So you
for the
can
record.
you can do one of two things. I can give you the time frame if you want to do your own flights because you want those nonstops guaranteed. Arrival day is by 6 p.m. Departure day, you're going to depart after 10 a.m. So one option is to do your own air on those nonstop flights. The other option is for me to take the air that I've included from Baltimore out of the program and put air that is from Atlanta. However, I cannot guarantee the nonstop flights that way. So if you're comfortable in writing your own air and you want the nonstops, maybe that's the way to go. If not, I'll investigate for you further.
But if we do it ourselves, we're still paying the same fee. So we.
Oh, no. I back out the air. I can just give me a second. I'll look up what the cost would be.
So she backs out the.
Oh,
I
Yes,
see.
yes. So the land price without the air is $31.99 per person. Twin.
We can do better than that.
I can hear you.
Yeah. So
Okay.
if you can do that and you can do better, I heard that. That's fine. It's just because right now we're doing group air and we're holding it in advance of departure, which right now we're about 9 months out. But either
I
way works for
understand.
me.
So we
Yeah,
have
so-
to be in Spokane by
Yes,
6 p.m.
on day one, you meet the tour manager for dining suggestions and like a welcome at 6 p.m. at the hotel. So I
Okay.
would say, by 4 to arrive. So you're not rushed.
And then you fly out of Missoula, anytime after, would you say 10 a.m. or something?
After 10 a.m. on the final day. Yes.
We fly back to Spokane
Okay.
and then fly
Can't
from
wait.
there.
All right.
I have a
Okay.
question.
That sounds good.
Yes.
If you do your own flight like they're thinking about,
Yes.
do you still pick them up at the airport or do you have to find
Tra-
your own way?
Transfers are always included as long as you arrive the day of departure and the final day of the trip. We'll give them a voucher. If they're the only two from Atlanta, we'll provide vouchers and their tour documents to get them to the hotel.
Okay, that's good because sometimes if you don't fly with your group, you don't get the transfer. But
Right, not our
appreciate
company.
it.
We still provide the transfer.
That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh,
Yes, Cheryl.
Hi, yeah, so I just wanted to verify, it sounds as though if we have we need to make other accommodations one way or the other, it's best to just contact you directly to find out if we have to do a different flight, because I was looking at the Missoula flight. If I wanted to fly out of Spokane, I'll contact you to find out what the best option would be.
Absolutely. I'll be glad to help you.
Okay. Very good.
Question.
What's the humidity like out there during the summer?
It's not bad at all. It's not humid. Michigan is humid. It's not humid there. You do have some elevation to deal with. I did not mention that, and that's something I should mention. Evenings are 40s and 50s. They do experience some rain, so but it's not like Michigan humidity is awful. Florida humidity is awful.
It's Maryland.
Not like that. Yeah, in Maryland. Yeah, in Maryland. So
okay.
High altitude, the way we deal with that is we just recommend to people to drink a lot of water and be hydrated. That way we don't run into any issues or problems. Currency, when we cross into Canada, they take the dollar, but you could have some Canadian currency if you wanted. Biggest thing is you need a passport, and it has to be valid for 6 months post return date by the government. And if you need a passport, it's never too early to apply. I'm hearing all kinds of stories. I know people who have gotten their passport in 3 weeks. I know people who have gotten their passport in 3 months. So if you need to renew, definitely check it out right away. And if you would, with your reservation form and your deposits, you could email me the inside cover of the passport, which shows your picture and then your information about them. That way we'll do the ticketing as such from that point. So we make sure we have spellings correct and there's no errors. Airline mistakes are costly and I don't want to have to pass any along to you.
So
Anybody else?
what is your contact information?
Sure. It's on the bottom of the flyer, but if you don't have that, I'm going to give it to you right now. Let's see. Can I get you? I don't think you can see that. It is my home office number and home is 810-797-5710. Again,
Okay.
810-797-5710. My email address, lengthy, it is, but Debbie, Debbie at Mayflower Cruises and Tours, A&D spelled out, and tours.com. If you don't have a flyer or a reservation form, contact me following. I do have another presentation at noon, but I could send you out that information this afternoon. As well as,
Great.
again, keep in mind, July has a handful of seats, and then I have about 20 seats in August remaining.
Okay.
How many people are considered a maximum amount?
47, sir.
Okay.
47 people.
Great.
Okay, so I want to verify that the dates are July and August.
July
So you
and
have a
August.
choice. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You have your
All right.
choice.
Okay.
Either one.
I'll put that on the website after we get done with all this.
That would be great. Thank you.
And the phone number and email are in the chat if anybody didn't catch them.
Thank you, Heidi. I appreciate that.
No problem.
This is Judy Zarin. I just want to share that I used to work for MRSPA, formerly MRTA, worked with Mayflower, and it's a great company to work with. I worked with Debbie for a long time. I'm now retired and enjoying my retirement by traveling. And I have traveled with Mayflower on a couple of occasions. I think the first time was Hawaii in 1997. When my husband was still living, we went back to Hawaii. It was a great trip. And then also to the Balloon Fiesta in Albuquerque. And what I like about Mayflower is it's an affordable company. You don't stay at 5-star hotels, but they're fine, they're clean, they're well located. The tour guides take really good care of you. And I like the fact that they include everything in that one price regarding the travel insurance and everything. Travel prices have obviously gone up since 1997. We all know that. But I still believe that, they're an affordable company and you have a very enjoyable tour. I can honestly say that on the trips I've traveled, if you've never traveled with Mayflower.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's my reason for being here 30 years. Anybody else for questions?
Well, I want to put in a plug for Glacier Park because I've been
Okay.
there and
Okay.
it's magnificent. It's a place I've wanted to go back to. So this is pretty exciting stuff.
Yay. Good. Glad to hear. Anybody else?
Jean has her hand up.
Yeah, I have one question.
Yes.
Is there any hiking involved? Because Glacier is quite famous for its hikes, and I wanted to know if any hikes were offered.
There is not a scheduled group hike. We do have an activity scale on the back of our flyer. We rate a program 1 to 5. This program is rated a 3. So there is not any hiking scheduled, but you will have time if you want to do a hike on your own.
Okay.
Hiking isn't for everybody, so we kind of leave it open to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There's
All
one
right.
question about airfare.
Yeah.
If it increases
Yes.
between now and then.
Nope, we don't pass along any increases. That's our loss. The price is the price, as I like to say.
Okay, thank you. I don't see any more in chat.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you all for joining me this morning. I appreciate it. Share it with your friends. Let's have some fun. Let's go to Montana and Glacier
Oh.
National Park. Take care,
I
you all.
did ha-
Happy holidays.
Thank you. And can we access this Zoom meeting? I know it's being recorded.